Blessings, blessings, blessings to all, blessings to all. Family, in this particular session, I plan to speak on what most people have never thought of before, what most people think of as unheard. Okay, it's something that's like just unheard of. Okay, and that's my vision. The vision that I had in September 2022. I just did a video on it. Okay, I just put out part one of a three-part series. Okay, the first part is called the Dark One. Okay, and I had a couple of questions. I had individuals that needed more convincing, so to speak, and that is okay because, again, when you walk with Yah in truth, you're supposed to want clarity on everything. You're supposed to want clarity on everything, and what I intend in this particular session to show you is the prophetic nature of my vision. You know, people have questions, and you're gonna have people with a lot of questions as the parts go on, because I have two more parts to publish. But you have individuals that have questions. As a matter of fact, let me put it to you like this: when I first received the vision, okay, the first individuals that I let it be known to that I had a vision was to my congregation. Okay, and I broke down the vision to them and everything. And I had a brother, my brother in the congregation, he was kind of upset with me. And or he didn't like the fact that the Dark One, when I spoke about meeting the Dark One face to face, that it was a so-called black man. He wasn't happy about that at all. Okay, and I know as this vision gets out and individuals, see it. Everybody has their own thought about how the Dark One looks, how Satan looks. Um, and we know from the scriptures that Satan is transformed into many different images. Okay? Uh, the image today that is most common with him, or that describes him, is the Baphomet, right? The goat god, the great goat god, right? The Baphomet. Okay? And that image of the Baphomet is meant to show his so-called godly nature in the realm that we're in. Right? He's half man, he's half woman, he's part man, part woman, and part goat. Right? He has horns. He has the horns, the Baphomet. The horns show his kingship, right? The horns show his kingship. Well, what is the horns and what is he king over? Well, the goat, right? He has a face like a goat, so that's king of the beasts, right? He has breasts like a woman, right? King over the females. And then he has genitalia for a man, king over the man. So that just shows his so-called godly slash kingly, the image of him, how he's God over everything in this realm. Okay, that's what represents him today, the Baphomet. But brothers and sisters, he did not appear that way to me. Okay, he appeared as a so-called black man. I'll be breaking that down to you. Okay. So the name of this session is The Dark One, Part 1, Explained. The Dark One, Part 1, Explained. And so blessings to everyone out there. This is Rest on Seventh Ministries, and I am a servant of the Lord. And as always, I prayed over this session that whoever gets their hands on this particular session, your eyes will be open and your ears may be open, that you may hear and see and understand. And that your heart may be open and that you may perceive with your heart. So blessings to everyone that gets their hands on this particular session. Okay? All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. When the video starts, right? When video 1 of my vision starts. Okay, and first of all, let's try to get a handle on what's a vision. Let's try to get a handle on what's a vision. So it's not a session in regards to visions. I'll do that down the road, okay? After I show all parts of my vision, and I give you a next breakdown of each one. As the parts come out, I will be following up with a breakdown to just explain to you the elements that were shown to me in the vision. Okay, and first off, it says here, let's see here, spiritual / religious context of visions. In many faiths, dreams are often understood as communications or messages, sometimes requiring interpretation. Whereas visions are highly lucid, waking encounters with divine revelation. That's all for Google. You know, that's just a quick little Google search. Highly lucid, waking encounters with divine revelation. Okay, we'll go with that. It's highly lucid. It's highly visual. Okay, and this awakening encounter. Okay, and I'll also add to this, since I've experienced them. Yes, and I've experienced more than one. I've experienced a number of visions. Okay, highly lucid, waking encounters with divine revelations. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll also add, it's interactive as well. To whereas a dream is not so interactive. Okay, you see yourself in a dream. You're not able to do anything or say anything. Basically, you just within the story of your dream. Okay, and it's more, most dreams are more imaginatory. Okay, but there are dreams that are a lot like visions as well. Okay, and at some point we'll get to that, because I've had that as well. I've had that as well. Okay, but a dream can be a highly spiritual encounter. Okay, and you can for the most part, or you could have like a vision and a dream connected. Okay, so we'll get to that another time, because I've experienced that. But What I would say, it says here, highly lucid, waking encounters with divine revelations. Yes, yes. We started part one with the dark one. Okay, as I go on into the next parts, they become more and more prophetic with the things that the Lord was showing me. All right, and I'll let the cat out the bag about something. At the end of that part one, okay, you see another man coming to me, right? And he was a so called black man as well. Again, this was a vision I had. This was real. You notice that in the beginning of the vision, right? I said I woke up in the room. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. I woke up in the room. Now, when the vision, when it first starts, when part one first starts, you notice I got up that morning and my body would not respond to my mind the way it normally does. Okay? And that is because I was taken out of my body. My body stayed there in my bed, but me, myself, my spirit was taken out of my body. And when I woke up, I had not given time for my spirit and my body to reconnect and realign. And another thing, I wasn't feeling well at all that morning. When I realized my body was not responding to my mind, then I started getting lightheaded. I just started feeling sick. I had to go back home and sleep. Now you'll notice as well in the prophets, okay? In the prophets, whenever they had a vision, they were always sick afterwards. They were always sick afterwards. And they had visions because, there's visions that they had that were really mind-blowing. Really mind-blowing visions. I think mine was mind-blowing, but with their interpretations of their visions that I've read in the scriptures, I could see how they were sick for days after. I could see it. And let me tell you something, family. It's not a feeling that you've ever felt before. I'm talking about the feeling of your body not responding to your mind. Again, that feels otherworldly. That's a very, very strange feeling. And that's how, a lot of the things I teach and what I go into, a lot of things that I say is because of experiences that I've had. I know that we're soul. I know that we have a spirit. I know that we're not just fleshly creatures walking around with just a fleshly mind. I know it. I know it. Okay? You know stuff like that, not just because the scriptures say it. The scripture is truth. And if you have faith in every word that's written in the scriptures. But I know and I understand certain things on a different level because I've experienced certain things with the Lord. When I say Yahushua exists, that's because I know him. I've met him. I know him. I've met him. I've spoken to him. Like I'm speaking to you. Hard to believe, right? Yeah. Hard for me to believe too, but yes. When I say Yahusha is a so-called black man, it's not just because I know my history. It's because I know him. I met him. And I know you don't hear too many people saying that, but yeah. Okay? So when the vision starts, you notice that again, I was trying to drive, my body wasn't following my mind. Okay, and I was feeling sick and I had to go back home and get some rest. Not unlike the prophets of the scriptures when they have received visions. They were always sick afterwards. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, it says here on Google about it being highly lucid, highly visual. Okay? Unlike in a dream state. No, this is highly visual. And it's waking encounters with divine revelation. And you're awake. In the vision, I said, I woke up. This is what made it so crazy and scary. Because I woke up in this room. I was in my bed sleeping, right? I was in the bed sleeping. And all of a sudden, I wake up in this room and I'm looking around. And I'm like, where am I? Where am I? I was awake in the room. So I was awake. I was talking. Okay? I was asking questions and everything. So then you see the dark when he comes up to me, he's, talking to me, da 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 da. You can see that in the vision. Okay, the dark one, part one of a 3-part series. Okay, so the dark when he comes up and he starts talking to me. Now, what I like to tackle, all right, which is the main concept of part one, which is why I put part one out. Okay, main concept. Okay, I met Satan, Prince Mastema, face to face. Okay, all right. Everyone is always like curious about how he looks. Okay, but the way he looked, and when I say the way he looked, like a so-called black man, is so prophetic. It's so prophetic because I've received some comments where individuals want to understand that more. Like for the so-called black man, they don't, and when I say they, because I'm not included, I don't include myself as being bothered by Satan appearing to me as a so-called black man. That didn't bother me at all. Again, as I've explained in the past, family, in every race of people that's in this realm, you have good and bad in every race. If one of my brothers or sisters are bad, if they're a bad seed, does that have anything to do with me? No, it does not. So that fact doesn't bother me, that he appeared to me as a so-called black man. But I get it. I understand. A lot of my brothers and sisters, they don't want to recognize that Prince Mastema, that old serpent, is a so-called black man. But I'm going to tell you this. You're looking at it all wrong. And I'm going to show you why you're looking at it all wrong. And I'm also going to show you how him appearing to me that way was prophetic. Okay? I'll show you that. First of all, before we get into the scriptures, okay? Because yeah, it has to align with scripture. It has to align with scripture. As you go forth and your relationship grows with Yah, I hope you realize how amazing He is. Because me telling you that I had a vision and giving you an account of my vision, that's nothing. That's nothing. You probably have heard me say on a number of occasions that Yah has given me gifts. Actual gifts. Actual gifts. You may have seen me with a chain on. That came from Yah. I had a particular chain that I wore, that I wear every now and then. He gave me that. He gave me that. You may have heard me say my 1878 Bible, that Yah gave me that. He gave me that. I have a whole series of books that He gave me. That's that. I'll speak about that another time. But when you walk with Yah, you're going to experience amazing things the closer you get to Him. The closer you get to Him, family, you're going to experience amazing things. So Elohim bless you in your walk. My whole being, the reason why I was brought forth for a time like this is to let you know who you are. Is to let you know who you truly are and who He truly is. I'm called upon to be the faithful witness, not just to teach you truth, but to teach you that He is. And you are. And we are. Okay? Now let's look at the different types of angels. That's what we're going to need to look at. And remember, angels are the sons of Elohim. And that word angel, it just means messenger of God. Messenger of God. Okay? And before Yahweh came to the earth in the flesh, he's known as the angel of the Lord, right? He's the angel of the Lord that spoke to Moses out of the burning bush, where he told Moses, take off your shoes because the ground you stand on is holy ground. And Moses would take off his shoes and bow. Okay? So, we're going to look at the different types of angels real quick. Okay? And we're going to debunk a couple of things as well as we look at the angels. So, the first angel that we're going to look at comes out of the book of Ezekiel, chapters 1 and the 10th chapter, okay? And that was the cherubim. The cherubim, the ones with the 4 wings and 4 faces. Each one had 4 faces. Okay? That's the cherubim. The ones that Ezekiel experienced, that was under the throne of Elohim. And also the Orphanim. Right? The Orphanim were the wheels with the eyes, the intersecting wheels with the eyes. Right? The thrones. Okay? They accompanied the cherubim. And Elohim's throne was on top. And the Orphanim were like the vehicle that would move the throne. And the cherubims were the angels that carried the throne. Okay? That's, when you read the book of Ezekiel and you read that first chapter, he's giving you a breakdown. And also in the 10th chapter, he speaks on it. you try to put together what he wrote and you try to get your own understanding of it. But that's the understanding I have of the cherubim and the orphanim. Okay? Then in Isaiah, the 6th chapter, you have the seraphim. The seraphim. Now those are the 4 angels that had 6 wings each. Those are the ones that had 6 wings each, right? 2 they covered their face, 2 they covered their bottom, and the middle wings were out, I believe. But don't quote me, read it. It's in the 6th chapter of the book of Isaiah. Isaiah, the 6th chapter, about the seraphim. All right? So those are 3 different types of angels. 3 different types of angelic being. Okay? Then you have the angels that appear as man. The angelic beings, the seraphims, the orphanim, and the cherubim, those guard the thrones of Yahweh. They guard his throne. And they move with him and around him with him. Okay, so it's like that's his throne. And that's the vehicle that they are the vehicles, the living ones that are always present with him, okay, moving him around on his throne. Okay, now, angels have appeared to mankind since time immemorial, and they appear as men. They appear as men. Now, I've been in and out of the scriptures for many years, and I have yet to read about any so-called Caucasian baby angels with wings. Okay, you know, cute, cuddly looking baby angels, Caucasian baby angels. I haven't seen that in the scriptures. I have not seen that in the scriptures. But we are going to read about the angels that appear as men and how they looked. Okay? Keeping in mind that Prince Mastema is a so-called fallen angel. Okay? So we got to keep all that in mind as I put forth this breakdown for you, so you can understand more about the Dark One when he presented himself to me. And I've been calling Prince Mastema the Dark One for a long time, even before he appeared to me and was tempting me, because he tempted me. He was tempting me. He was trying to get me to go with him, to be with him. That's what he was doing. I don't remember the things he was saying. It was to some scary, powerful stuff. Some scary, powerful stuff. And once I experienced that vision, I realized just how powerful he is. And I also realized why he's called the father of lies. I realized, and I seen his power firsthand. And brothers and sisters, if you don't walk with the Lord, you don't have no chance to get away from him. I tell you just like that. If you're not one with the Lord, you have no chance to get away from the father of lies. And that is the truth. So now we've gone over the different angels, okay? Right now we're going to take a journey in the scriptures and we're going to get a better understanding for how these angels looked that appeared to man. Okay? You know that 3 angels appeared to Abraham. And one of those angels was the Lord, Yahweh. And they appeared like man. They were men that appeared to Abraham. And 2 of the angels, they went forth to Sodom and Gomorrah. While Yah, he stayed talking with Abraham. And Abraham talked to him face to face. Moses would spend time with the Lord face to face as like friends. Israel appeared to Jacob and wrestled with him. Now, when you know, with Yah, there's no respect of persons. So whenever it's talking about things in the scriptures and you're reading about things in the scriptures, that's because it's all truth and it happens. I used to, number one, I used to believe there weren't any prophets anymore. I used to believe that there were not prophets anymore. But that's not true. In these last days, Yah is raising up prophets. Yes, he is. And the only reason why I understand that is because my conversations with the Lord. And because what has been shown and what has been proven to me. So now I understand that, yes, there are prophets in this time. True, real, bona fide prophets, because you got to fit a criteria to be a prophet. And a lot of individuals in camps and all that calling themselves prophets, this, that, and that, and the next thing, those are not prophets. A prophet has to prophesy to his congregation. He has to be given a prophet. He has to be given a prophecy from Yah, and it must come true. And the way it works is he gives the prophet the prophecy. The prophet takes the prophecy to his congregation and tell him about the prophecy, and then the congregation and the prophet must see it revealed to know that that's a true prophet. You don't just call yourself a self-proclaimed prophet. And another thing, it's Yah who tells you you're a prophet from his mouth. From his mouth. So it ain't about nothing you doing yourself. Okay? And yes, in my vision, I was given a prophecy, and it was fulfilled. And my congregation saw it fulfilled as well. Now, we're going to speak about the dark one. We're going to speak about the dark one in part 1. All right, and the fact that he appeared to me as a so-called black man. And again, if you didn't understand the vision, right? He kept tempting me. And each temptation got stronger and stronger. He tempted me 3 times. And 3 times I rebuked him. 3 times I rebuked him. Okay? So that's what went down in that part 1 of the vision. Let's turn to the book of Daniel, the 10th chapter and the 5th verse. Book of Daniel, 10th chapter and the 5th verse. So we can get some clarity on the image of Prince Mastema and how he appeared to me. And so that you could understand how prophetic it was. Daniel, 10th chapter and the 5th verse. All right? All right, let's get it. We're in the book of Daniel. I'm in the 10th chapter and I'm at the 5th verse. And it says, hear the word of Elohim. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked. And behold, a certain man clothed in linen. Now, of course, this is Daniel speaking. Whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. With fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face like the appearance of lightning. And his eyes like lamps of fire. And his arms and his feet in color, his arms and his feet. It's going to now tell you the color of his arms and his feet. In color like to polished bronze. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. This is Gabriel, the angel. So, right away, by looking at the color of his arms and looking at the color of his feet, Daniel tells you this was a man that appeared to him. Right? He says, in the 5th verse, a certain man. Then he describes that man. And he tells you that the arms and his feet in color like to polished bronze. That's this color. That's this color. Like polished bronze. So obviously Gabriel, because you could also find it in the book of Daniel and I believe the 8th chapter and the 15th verse. It'll tell you that this is Daniel. I mean that this is Gabriel that appeared to Daniel. And he appeared to him as a so-called black man. Okay? He appeared to him as a so-called black man. This angel appeared to Daniel as a so-called black man. Let's go to the book of Revelation. Let's go to the book of Revelation. And let's go to the 1st chapter. Okay? And let's pick it up at the 12th verse. Book of Revelation, 1st chapter, and the 12th verse. Okay? You're going to learn. You're going to learn. When I tell you something, that's what it is. And that's what it was. There's no need for me to lie or create stories. I'm a servant of the Lord. I don't do that. Everything I'm telling you is truth. When I tell you I had a vision, no, I had a vision. A real bona fide vision, yes. Okay? So now we're in the book of Revelation. We're in the 1st chapter. We're at the 12th verse. And it says, Now, of course, this is John. John the Apostle, also known as John the Revelator, who was given the revelation. This is him, his writing, and his account of his vision. Of his vision. Okay? And I turned to see the voice that spoke with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the midst of the 7 lampstands, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the floor, down to the foot, and girded about the breast with a golden girdle. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like a flame of fire. And his feet like fine bronze, and his feet like fine bronze, polished bronze, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice like the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in its strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth, and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of Hades and of death. That verse 18, that's Yahweh Shah speaking. It's in red writing. He said, I'm the first and I'm the last. I'm he that liveth and was dead. He was resurrected. So that's Yahweh Shah. And what was his complexion? Well, it says here in verse 15, and his feet like fine bronze. So Gabriel, that appeared to Daniel, appeared as a so-called black man. And Yahweh Shah, who appeared to John, appears as a so-called black man. So, what we have here is 2 angels, 2 messengers of the Most High. Because we know that Yahweh Shah, being made so much better than the angels, we know that in the Old Testament he appeared as the angel of the Lord. In the Old Testament. Messenger of Elohim, messenger of God. So you have both men who are divine appearing as so-called black men. So now, the Dark One, Prince Mastema, appeared to me as a so-called black man. But then again, how do we take that? Him being the father of lies. How do we take that? Let's turn to 2 Corinthians. And let's pick it up at the 11th chapter and the 13th verse. 2 Corinthians, 11th chapter and the 13th verse. Hey, I just read to you how Gabriel appeared. He appeared like a so-called black man. And I read to you how Yahweh appeared, the Amen, how he appeared to John in his vision. And he appeared as a so-called black man. Then you know in my vision, Prince Mastema, he appeared to me as a so-called black man. But let me read something to you so you could understand why I say him appearing like that was prophetic. Very prophetic. And I don't say that because he appeared to me the way Gabriel and Yahweh appears in the scriptures as so-called black man. That's not why I say that. This is why I say that. 2 Corinthians, okay, 11th chapter and the 13th verse. All right, let's get it. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ, the apostles of the Mashiach, false apostles. And no marvel, verse 14. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Did you just hear that? Did you catch that? It says here again, verse 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Gabriel, an angel of light. Yahusha, the angel of the Lord, angel of light, appeared to men as black, so-called black men. So of course, whether he truly is a so-called black man or not, he's going to appear to me as an angel of light. And what are the angels of light that appeared in the book? So-called black men. So of course he's going to appear like a so-called black man, an angel of light. And no marvel. Don't marvel at it. That I said that and I showed you the truth. How he appeared. Don't marvel at it. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Why would he appear any other way? He's the father of lies. So even if he's not a so-called black man, that's the way he's going to appear. Because the angels of light, so-called black man. Okay? You understand now why he would appear like that? Because no marvel. Don't get it twisted. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. I got part 2 of that vision coming out really soon over the next couple of weeks, family. So blessings to all. Keep your eye out for it. Each part, I'll be revealing things to you. And promise you, family, the further we go on, the more I explain that vision, there's a lot going to be revealed. We're just warming up with it. We're just warming up. So blessings to you out there. Blessings to you all. Keep your head up. Walk in faith. Walk in truth. And I'll see you the next time. I'll see you during the Sabbath live session, which should take place maybe Wednesday, maybe Friday evening or Saturday morning, maybe on the evening of the Sabbath or the morning of the Sabbath. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'll give you a notification. Okay, so blessings to all my subscribers and blessings to the family of light out there. Rest on Seventh Ministries, and I'm a servant of the Lord. See you the next time.